Ooh, look at that. I think it's time we put these old cut bastards back in the Calypso. I want to do this to test a theory that a lot of the noise and aggravation from this spool is actually coming from all these springs. Because if you look right up here, you can see that these springs rub a lot. They jump around. As you can see, to get the car the height that I want, I have to like really lower this thing. So I feel like this will give us a better ride if we can go ahead and get these things swapped out and go back to a regular coil spring. Now we have Team Z upper and lowers, so we already have our perch right here, and then there's of course your factory perch up there. So what we're going to do is just throw these things in to see if we can get our ride quality back. I'm not expecting this to 100% like fix the spool issue. So when we get the car down, I want to show you something, which is the way that our shocks mount to the top of these cars, to the body of the car up there. It has a really small shaft and a really big hole. So that's never a good thing, right? And I think that's what's causing all the slop and all the pop. So let me go ahead and get started on this, and I'll catch back up with you guys in just a minute. So first things first, we're going to come in and remove the nuts on top of our shocks. Now this is where I think the problem is coming in because up here you can actually wiggle this ever so slightly with it just sitting here. So the clamping force is just not enough to keep this bolt from moving around up here in the top of the body. I've already got the bolts in the bottom like ready to come out, so no problem there. So we'll go ahead and pop these off, lift the car back up, pull the shocks out, and we should be able to go ahead, take the springs off, and drop our coil springs in. This is a pretty simple job. What?
This is stuck in a tree.
Who?
This is stuck in a tree.
Memphis is stuck in a tree?
Yes.
What tree?
In the backyard tree.
Do I need to go get her?
Yes. She's too high. Come on, Daddy. Come on. Oh, come on.
Hey, is she all right? Camley. Down in there is where this shock has just been kind of rolling around, right? All right. So we've already taken these off, and we should just be able to pull this thing out. Okay, we can just leave all of this on. All we really need to do is take the spring off. This is more, like I said, right now, just trial and error, just trying to figure out if we can clean this thing up a little bit underneath as far as how it sounds. Let's go ahead and get this thing on the ground and see how she sits. Now, if I remember correctly, this thing sit like right above the tire, so it should be pretty close. We may have to adjust the front coilovers because I am going to leave those. Ooh, look at that. Damn, that's money. There's nothing to do now but go drive it, so I'll take you guys down the road. You're not going to be able to see anything, but I'll let you know if this fixed the problem or not. And hey, this is just good info for people, right? This is good info. Maybe if you're having the same issue and you're like, man, what is that noise? And you're about to give up on it. It could be something as simple as this, or who knows, right? Maybe you like the ride quality better with your regular coil springs rather than coilovers. It's worth a shot, right? Way better. Ready to get the other side?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Andrew is a technician, bro. Check it out. He be chasing threads and stuff. All right, so if you guys are wondering what's going on, sneak peek here. Andrew is putting the 3550 from Papa T's car in his car. And that is the T5 that came out of his car that will be going in the 65. So nothing really to see here. I was at work today and he started doing this. He's almost got it done. But you guys are right in the middle of wanting to know about the Calypso clone, and it's about to start raining. So let me give you my final thoughts on the Calypso, okay? And the difference that it made by putting the coil springs back under this car. Now look how this thing sits. To you guys that may look crazy, but to me that is just freaking money. The way this car sits is money to me. So I love the way it sits, for one thing. But this is what I want to tell you on the spring setup here, okay? This is very hard for me to explain because I honestly don't know the ins and outs of it, other than the fact that the coil springs, that coilover kit sits differently in the car. The springs themselves, as you saw, ride on the shock. That was the issue I was having. The spool is what's causing everything to get in a bind, right? For whatever reason, going to this setup with the coil springs doesn't make all that noise. Sure, it makes a little bit, but definitely made a huge difference on this car. I am pleased with it. It rides smoother. Guys, listen to me. My cut springs ride better than your coilovers. It's crazy, right? I mean, I'm sure somebody out there's got some coilovers that ride better, but cut springs on these cars is not a bad thing. I mean, they're a linear setup, so as you cut them, the spring rate doesn't just go through the roof. It goes up for sure, but if you got yourself a good set of shocks, you should be okay. So these strain shocks can soak up all of that extra spring rate. I'm gonna leave the coilover kit in the front of this car because it just works out pretty good that way. I like it. I can kind of adjust it as I need to, but the back looks good. Look guys, I just wanted to let you know this worked for me. Why did I do this? Because I had it on hand. I was testing the theory and it worked out. On to Andrew here. Okay, I'm telling you, my little boy is growing up so fast. I do apologize that I wasn't able to take you along for the ride. We cannot let Andrew run the GoPro anymore because he doesn't know what to say and he just cusses and throws stuff. So that's what happened last time.
Allegedly.
Yeah. So we didn't even bother with it. Anyway, look, he's going to finish this up. And what we'll do is we'll get his impressions from the 3550, from the T5 to the 3550. Let you guys know his thoughts on that. We'll drive this thing at some point in a video. The big thing is though, we now have our transmission for the 65. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up, guys. And as always, thanks for watching.